All right, we're gonna finish up the tasting in quite a bit of style. We have the Elijah Craig 23-year-old, and that is it's one of the oldest bourbons on the market. I'm not sure, I haven't heard anything official, but I'm not sure if we will see this brand much anymore, because you know we did have that fire that I alluded to 24 years ago. So 1996, you were there that day, and you'll love to hear the story. So when he comes to Chicago, you want to come to the event that Jody comes to, but save all that for you. But just say we lost 90,000 plus barrels. So that's why you won't see much of the 23-year-old anymore, and I'd be surprised if we saw it come back. And I hope you do, but it all depends on a lot of things. But this is a rarer and rarer treat. Here we go. So this is 90 proof, but it is 23 years old. So right there, just think of the impact of the wood as you're smelling this.
I always like to say, what were you doing 23 years ago?
Absolutely. It took a long time, and this spends time mostly on the first floor. Is that where you pull these from?
First floors. They will come from the first floor.
Because certainly you pulled these barrels in this bottle.
Most definitely.
And so, was it ever on the second floor or third floor? Or is
it could have been maybe on the second, but third floor you're getting a little bit too high, and you have way too much evaporation.
Yeah. So right there, to me, it's lost some of the qualities that I put in my mind for a bourbon. Again, I like my bourbons 8 to 12 years old, up to 15. And it's not a negative. What I'm saying is that I've lost that caramel. I've lost that lots of vanilla. I've lost the some of the characteristics, but I've picked up more of the wood. And it makes it very interesting. It's not as deep and complex. You'd think a 23-year-old bourbon would be really deep and complex.
But like I say, you pick up a lot of wood, but then something that, but the finish on this is really dry. I mean, it's very dry because, being in the barrel, very dry. But there's something that I always get on this, that on the the very back, on the finish, I almost pick up some dried raisin.
Dried raisins.
Just something. It's kind of interesting, but just the very finish of it. But you pick up, like say, a couple, just a few little notes of the vanilla, but mostly you get a lot of the wood.
Yeah.
So depending upon what your taste profile is and what you like, but it's pretty interesting.
Well, regardless, as Jody said, think about what you were doing 23 years ago as you share this with the friends that you're sharing it with. And today, as we record this was our friend and our Master Distiller Emeritus, Parker Bean. It would have been his birthday today. Parker Bean passed away a few years ago. So Jody and I, it's extremely great to be here with Jody at the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience, and thank you for joining us.
No problem.
But here's to Parker.
To Parker, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us.